It's WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM, The Wizard, Chicago's home for freeform radio. And we've got greens for you. Greens are good for you to eat. Greens are good for you to plant in your garden. Greens are good for you to do whatever you want with, really. And Covington Groove believes the same. Because of greens, things go a certain way. So listen to this tune. Covington Groove is on their way in. Hit a little traffic, but you know we can always make room for people because we got time. We're here till 3. So I'm going to get some ticket giveaways ready to go for after this, but check out Green's Covington Groove, and let me give you an idea also of when they're playing. They're playing with Jim Conry Trio. That's November 15th. That's next week at the venue in Aurora. So that'll be next Friday, 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. music will start. So make sure you check this out and check them out at the wonderful venue in Aurora. It's Covington Groove, the album release show, and this is Greens, WZRD Chicago, 88.3 FM.
Torn up, can't deal with it. Take the right pills, but I can't feel with it. People got me tripping like a porn star that can't get laid in the real world. When I've had enough, I'll pack one up. Close my eyes, and blow it away. I've been lied to too many times. I feel like time is never ever on my side. Oh, all the chicas that do me wrong, steal my heart, then spend it all. But I'll be fine. Thank God for greens. Look out my window at the world passing by me. Think of all the lost souls that must feel just like me. 350 milliliters of Kentucky Clear only get you so far. When I've had enough, I'll rise above all the pain, all the blaming. Blow it away. I've been lied to too many times. I feel like time ever on my side. Oh, all the chicas that do me wrong, steal my
WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM, The Wizard, Chicago's home for freeform since 1974. As promised, I have two members of Covington Groove in the studio. Really excited to sit around and just kind of beat around the bush. No, I can't say that. You know what I mean. Hang out. We're going to have fun together. And like I said, they're playing the 15th at the venue in Aurora. So stay tuned for all of that. Maybe even have a ticket giveaway. I think we do. And we'll go from there. But we're going to hear a tune called Aspen, which is from the forthcoming record. And it hasn't been heard by anybody yet. So if you like Greens, I think you'll like Aspen as well. It's here on WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM. yes, that blues rock fusion jazzy stuff going on right there for you. I have in the studio both Colin Ryan and Samuel Wyatt. How you guys doing?
Good, yeah.
Fantastic.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Really happy to be here. Thanks for having us.
You're welcome. It's fun. It's nice to be in the studio, too.
Yes.
I get a lot of calls, but like it's fun to see people on the other side.
Yeah.
We're big fan of face-to-face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The album or in real life?
Yeah, right.
You guys are straight music people. Like I definitely get the vibe that you live and breathe music. Sam, I know that's literally what you do for all your jobs, right?
It's everything, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great life.
Speaking of that, it was, what day is today?
It's Tuesday.
Thursday? It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah. Happy Thursday. Tuesday.
Tuesday night, though, Sam called. We were just texting back and forth, and then calls me up at 12:30, and we talked about the music for like 2.5 hours, and finally was like, dude, we both have to go to sleep. Yeah.
It's true.
What were you guys talking about? What was the things that came up, like musically?
Oh, just this, the music scene and how to navigate it, how to get better. We're always trying to get better at what we do, and it's a journey.
We had a really cool conversation about being in front and behind the beat. This is totally musical, but Sam had a great way of putting it. It's kind of like this gravitational pull that you feel in all good music, where not everybody is right together. They're kind of floating around in orbit, and it was really cool to dig in and talk about that.
2 a.m., that's what happens.
That's what comes out.
Gravitational pull in music.
I love that. I mean, I think musicians and people who work in music are no stranger to the late night hours, and sometimes that's when the greatest ideas come. So
it's true.
Yeah, I'm glad you guys can bounce stuff off, and you're always trying to, it sounds like, improve and find new ways to connect with people musically. I think that's what it's about.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us about your band. Tell us about Covington Groove and who it is and what it's all about.
We are a blues, rock, funk fusion band with elements of jazz and jam thrown in. We're really focus. We love recording. We're a song-based band, but we love the live. I would say our music is focused around live and lived. We're not 20. We're not in our 20s. We're a little bit older, and for me, the band is about an energy exchange, especially in the live scene when you can feel that happening. It's a 4-piece with Sam on keys and vocals and synths, myself bass and vocals, Ben Bolero, who's an amazing guitar player and great singer, and then Mikey D on drums.
Nice. I love a good 4-piece. That's exactly where you want to be, I think. How did you come up with the name and the idea of this band?
So the original practice space for the band was kind of this apartment building complex, and one of the members, he's a founding member. He's not in the band anymore, but his name was Rashad, and he worked at this apartment facility and was kind of a manager, and so he had a big office, a big space, and we just used that to jam and practice early on, and the name of the apartment building was Covington. So
it was Covington Grove.
Was there a grove?
Oh, that makes sense. So, I'm like, Covington Court sounds familiar from out there. Covington Grove.
Yeah,
I think it's part of the same. There's a whole breed of Covington happening.
But we needed to call what we were recording something, so we called it Covington Groove. And originally, none of us liked the name. And then one day, Sam walked in and said, "Somebody asked me, are you in Covington Groove?" And I'm like, "Well, now it's the name."
Yeah, exactly. Like, can't turn back now. Somebody recognized it.
I was walking on the street. Somebody stopped me.
Really?
Yeah. No, I'm just.
Yeah, I was like, how did he know? Were you wearing a Covington Groove shirt?
Right, yeah.
Nice.
Way before the shirts.
Yeah, okay, so there are shirts. There's merch about. Absolutely. I love it. So how long ago was this that it formed?
That was pre-vid, and then we had...
pre-vid, I haven't heard that one yet. I've heard pandemic, I've heard like random, but pre-vid, okay, I like it. Like,
pre-vid, post-vid, right?
Yeah, totally.
So pre-vid, we were getting together, playing, writing a lot of stuff, and then a couple of the members, Rashad, moved back to Denver, and then Kyle Perez, our drummer, moved to Boulder. So we kind of took a step back and then reorganized, reassessed post-vid, and started making our push. Probably the real push this last year, but have been writing and stuff for the last couple of years.
Cool. Yeah, so it's a project that started before COVID. Well, not out of COVID, but kind of through it. It survived.
Yes,
it did. And Kyle, the one of the founding members, drummer, was on Aspen. So he was the drummer on that one, the song you just heard.
Cool. I love that. That song was really nice. And that wasn't like blues, right? But it was part of the faction of all of what Covington Groove is like this amalgamation of fusion, right? And jazz comes up too, right? Like I know you're rooted in jazz, right, Sam?
Yeah, all the wrong notes. I like to play them.
That's what jazz is about.
Yeah.
It's exploring the stuff that's not there and playing with and listening. How important is listening for you guys with each other? Like, is that a big part of it?
The most important. Absolutely. It's if we're not listening, then there's no such thing as autopilot. Always engaged. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. How often does Covington Groove rehearse or practice, if they can?
Once a week at least.
At least.
Oh, nice. Okay, so you guys got a pretty strict regimen for it,
We do now. We're really making a push like in this last year and, finishing up this album. And, yeah, we can't wait for people to hear it.
I love that. And it's a self-titled, right? Covington Groove.
Yeah,
which
doing
is
the traditional thing.
I love that. The first record should always be that, I think, right? And so you guys are drawing inspiration from like Gary Clark Jr., Dr. John, Humphreys McGeevan at the Drive-In. How are your influences like the same and how are they different?
Oh, man. I always say that I feel like if we sound familiar, but you can't put your finger on it. So everybody brings a different feel and a different energy. So it's really kind of cool that it's not one thing. That's probably the best way to say it. How is it different? How is it the same? Is we're all on the same page as far as does it feel good? And then how it sounds kind of just presents itself as we put the tunes together.
That's a good answer. I like that.
Yeah, we all have our own personalities, and we just love good writing and good music. We love we all have different styles of writing songs, and like Colin's songs they're different than Ben's and mine. So, but it all works. Like we really do take a lot of pride in writing a good song. So that's the heart of it.
Yeah, I can tell that from the songs I've heard. I'm like, you guys definitely take care in it and enjoy it. The process. So you guys have played at Reggie's. That was pretty recently, right?
Yeah, we did. We opened up for Wookiefoot 2 days in a row.
Nice. I didn't know Wookiefoot was still a thing.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I've never seen them. What are they like?
It is like a circus. It's super cool. They're all like really kind people, which was probably the biggest takeaway is just being able to talk to them and hang out with them. They were just super nice.
Right. Way nicer than circus people.
Yeah.
Right. You're like, I don't know what to expect, but in fact, they were really fun. Oh, that's cool.
Super cool.
Yeah. Awesome band.
Awesome. Wookiefoot. And you guys opened for them. I love Reggie's. I'm a big fan. Were you guys in the rock club?
So, yeah, we were we took over Tipsy Tuesdays for Mr. Blotto this past summer.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Maybe that's where I heard of you guys too, coming back.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to be doing it again this summer, which is cool.
Cool, because they go away and do like touring or something? Or?
No, they do Teddy's.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
okay, so they go up there and you guys kind of switch. That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. I know I'll be on Tuesdays in summertime. That's awesome.
Yeah, so we do the music joint for those.
Okay, yeah.
And then Brendan, who does all the talent buying there.
Great guy.
Yeah, really good dude. He actually made an effort to get us on the Wookiefoot bill. They weren't supposed to have any other support, and he really liked us, so he put us on, and we played as Covington Group, we played the rock club for the first time, so it was really cool.
Nice. That's amazing. And so how do you, I know networking and like connections are a big part of this whole thing, right? So how did you first get in touch with Brennan?
That would be so we played Hotel Blotto for the first time, and then Chief or Mike from Blotto said, "Hey, do you want to come out and do open for us on one of our Tipsy Tuesdays?" And we did that. We did it again, and then I just he gave me Brendan's information. Him and Paul did, and then I hit him up and said, "Hey, can we do something with this?" And
nice. Yeah. And now he really likes you enough to be like, "Can you open up for a band that's
Yeah, and all the people over at Reggie's are great too. They're really cool.
Everybody there is really cool.
Yeah.
I think Rob is one of the guys there. I was working with the Zappa band at one point. It had Ike Willis from Frank Zappa's band, and it was so much fun.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I just started with them, and they made me a birthday cake. And I barely knew anybody at Reggie's, but there was a Zappa cake with my name on it. And I was like, okay, these people care. They care about you. So that's amazing to hear that you're part of that Reggie's family.
Well, it's funny too when you said Ike Willis, our drummer Mikey D did a weekend run with his band.
Oh, cool.
Playing with him, he said it was probably some of the most complicated music he had to learn, but that was pretty cool.
I thought I read that in your bio that somebody played with Ike. I was like, oh, I love that
he was in there, and then I go kind of far back with Mr. Blotto. I've played some shows, subbing in on keyboards. Played Blotto shows, and with Paul and with PB&J, which is a thing out in the suburbs, and
like Even Flow or something. They used to do that. Yeah.
So we kind of have that relationship with the Blotto folks, and they're awesome. So yeah, just it all worked together. Just stayed in contact, and got to put on a good show at Reggie's, and we did our best.
Yeah, that's what it's about. I love that. I smile when you say Blotto because I can't tell you how many people come in here and tell me Mr. Blotto kind of paved the way or helped them or gave them a gig. So it makes me feel good because I kind of think they came from. So Sam and I are from the St. Charles area. You are too, Colin?
No, I'm from Hanover Park, Roselle. Yeah.
But yeah, I always heard of Blotto growing up, but I never really knew what it was as a younger person. And then Blotopia was a thing in Elgin, and it's cool to hear that they still continue to influence people and help people out, and that's what it's all about.
Yeah. For sure.
I like that. Okay, cool. So, we heard Greens. I want to talk about that. That's the debut single, right, from the self-titled Covington Groove record. What is it about? What is Greens all about?
Well, Sam wrote it, so I would say he would have his version of why he wrote it and what it's about to him, and then I think it probably has a different meaning to all of us because we all interpret everything that
What's
we hear.
it mean to you?
Oh, I remember the first time I heard it when he brought it in and we played it, and then I listened back to it, and I just felt it. I felt it really identifiable across the board about just, you think it's it's about smoking grass, man, but it's not. It's about how you deal with life and the things that happen to you in life, and this isn't. You think this is gonna get you through it? Will only get you so far. The liquor, the 325 liters will only get you so far, and it's about you can't escape. You can try to escape, but you can't. We all have to deal with what's happened to us in life and how we're going to proceed from there.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I wrote it. I was just overcoming obstacles and just different ways to do that. And I wanted to use the word porn star in a song, so I did. So that was really what
was
the
the
song. You have. Life is it's hard like a porn star that can't get laid in the real world.
Oh my
or something
God.
like that. So in so many words. But anyway, I did have that line written down, and I wanted to use it in a song. This is really true, and I guess I wrote Greens around that line. I just had that written down.
I remember when he brought it in and we put it together and played it, and we got done playing with it. I'm very, very much energy driven. I'm on the front end of everything, and we got done playing with it, and I was just like, yeah.
You felt it. You're like,
this is awesome.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah, no, there was definitely a point where I was like, Green, should I take this for face value? Is this about smoking weed, man? And I'm sure it could be, but it also has to do with, like you said, once the bottle's gone or once that joint's out, you still have to deal with life, right?
Right.
So we have
it.
all these coping mechanisms, but maybe they don't always help us cope. It's more about, being aware.
Right. Coping mechanism would have been a good title. Just it's hard to rhyme that.
Yeah.
So.
With porn star, it doesn't rhyme.
Right.
I love that. I feel like letting go is something I've learned, a little bit in my later years of just certain things, not wanting to get too wrapped up in things, or I sometimes have to let things go and not worry about them. Do you guys feel like that's a part of music and life as well? Is just
for me, that's the biggest thing I've learned over the last year is if you can't control something, and you really can't control most anything, but I'll have these moments where, things will happen to you and you may feel wronged, rightly or wrongly, and it would just sit with me for like 3 days, and I couldn't go to sleep, and it would just affect my mood. And finally I was like, you know what? You kind of take a step back and you go, can I change the situation? Yes, no, let it go, right? If I can change the situation, is the net positive of putting the effort in worth it? Yes, no, let it go, and all of a sudden I started to be able to deal with and enjoy day to day more so than worrying about things that really don't matter.
It's true. It can that can clog your brain, and letting go. Music is just it's a place where I can like use all the past trauma and negative and situations and positive, and then put it all in the music, and that's what I try to do is just let the music speak for like all my issues that I'm having in my life. Like I put it in there, and all the good and the bad.
Yeah.
So it's like between this band and the other band that we playing with, a couple of the guys do over 200 shows a year, and I always say that no matter what, especially in the summer when we did like 92 and 99 days, I get 3 hours of happy every day. That's the one time I get to live in the now is when you're on stage playing music.
It's very true. It's very true, because otherwise sometimes we're worried about all the other things and not living in that present moment. Thanks for commenting on that, guys. I like to get a little deep and ask questions, not just about the music, but everything. But it is about the music, too, because I think when you guys are making a record, right, it took a little while to do this. Were there points where you had to say, I have like to let this go, or maybe sleep on it at night because you're like, oh, this part was just not the right part, or,
right.
Like you can get in your head. I've never done it because I don't, play my own music, but is that a thing that like is hard for you guys sometimes to like overthink how to put a song?
Sam probably is going to I really just like love it, and I'm in it.
And you're in it like first take, you're like, yes,
We'll talk about stuff, but I think this one came out pretty quickly.
Good.
Yeah. I think, the album, I mixed and engineered it, mastered it, and we recorded some things at my studio as well, and then we recorded other studios. A lot of recording happened at different studios, but It's easy for like, in my position, you listen to this stuff over and over again. It's like, oh well, it needs this, or so you lose perspective as an audience member. So it's really good for Colin, who's not mixing it, to like hear it just from that point of view as a regular person.
Right.
And so there's no doubt, and this has happened over the years with me, like, because I've mixed music for a long time, and you lose perspective, and can't let that happen.
Yeah,
I get to have fun. I come in and go,
like,
oh, what if we did this here? Yeah, wouldn't this sound cool here? And Sam's like, oh yeah, maybe let's try it.
He's like, bring in the spaceship here.
Yeah, because I'm always using weird like ways to paint picture. Like for me, Aspen always feels like driving down an open road with the windows down on a nice day,
totally.
Or laying under a tree in the summer. That's how I see music.
So then I went outside, put a mic next to a tree, and then
you recorded whatever came out.
It sounded awful, but
we cut it.
It really didn't. It didn't do anything, and nothing to the mix.
Wow.
You would think that bark would have
a little bark,
have more musical, expression, but no.
I'm glad you tried that, though.
But no, actually, it's funny. So Colin using kind of these visuals to describe the music is really great. I mean, I haven't run into many people that do that, and it's a really nice way. John Lennon was big into that. It's like put it on the moon, or he would just say things that are just kind of outlandish, and then you had to kind of figure out what it meant. But it's like, well, it could mean anything. So that's what's kind of cool. It's like you interpret it your own way, and then you end up with something really interesting, musically, just by saying, hey, make it sound like a desk that's on fire. And it's like, okay.
Cool.
And
that's
then
a wild way to write music. Cool.
Yeah, and let's listen to it.
Yeah. I love it. Well, should we play another track for people so they can get another idea of what what's going on here. So Elevate Radio, that's one of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's Elevate. Those are all the radio
that's the radio
mixes.
track.
Yeah.
I see Elevate Radio. I was like, I'm into this about
Right?
radio.
It's like-
Elevate.
Yeah.
Because then the other one would be Aspen Radio. I got it.
We have all these radio stations.
No, it's clean for the radio. Is what you
It's
mean.
clean, yeah.
Got
This
it.
is another one that, because we had 5 drummers on this album. So this is
Oh,
another one
yeah.
that Kyle was on.
I forgot. You told me that. 5 drummers?
Yeah. That was
All
fun.
at once ever? Or
No, just different sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Just like this guy would be fun on this track. Or this guy would be fun on this track, you know.
Cool. That's awesome. All right, awesome. So we're going to hear Elevate right here from Covington Groove. You guys are playing. Tell everybody when you're playing. The
November
release show.
15th. November 15th at the venue in Aurora.
It's coming up real quick. I can't believe we're halfway through November. It does not feel like it outside. So let's elevate for a minute, guys. We'll be back with you with Covington Groove. It's WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM. Yeah, a little off-air laughter over here. We're having a good time. We'll talk to that caller soon. It's WZRD Chicago 88.3 FM, The Wizard, and that was our wonderful band that's in the studio right now, Covington Groove, doing Elevate. What's Elevate about, guys?
That one actually it was an instrumental that had lyrics put on after the fact.
Yeah. So the drummer, so Kyle is on that as well. He's one of the founding members, and he had a melody that he had written. And it was just a melody, and he just sung it into his phone, and then we put that together.
Nice. That's the way to do it. You know, just take a small piece and blossom it and make it grow.
Yeah, we wrote that in the studio, really, after once the melody came in. A lot of these tunes, there's at least 3 or 4 of them on the album that we just wrote in studio.
Cool.
Which was a lot of fun. And we had, a lot of those were with Kyle, who is one of the 5 drummers we have on the album, which is...
Oh, yeah, 5 drummers. So, original drummer is flying in from Colorado for the show?
Yeah, to play percussion. Yeah.
Cool. And who's that?
That's Kyle.
That's Kyle.
Perez,
Okay,
yeah.
that's what I thought. Awesome. Oh, cool. So he's still involved, obviously, on the new record, or on this new record, but also coming in to play. That's kind of cool.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, everybody stay tuned because we will give away a pair of tickets after this interview to that show. Have you guys been to the venue in Aurora?
Yeah.
Okay, what is it like? I have yet to go.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's like just the sound quality. It's like high fidelity. It's you just so crystal clear. It's really nice. And the kind of room it is, like you wouldn't think that. Wow, the sound would be amazing. It's just kind of like this. It's kind of a tunnel like, but it's it's one of the best sounding rooms in the Chicagoland.
Like in the country. I don't know what to say, but it's really good sounding.
In the galaxy. It's like,
I want to like find that room. So if that's the case, I'm coming just for that. Wow. Cool.
It's true though.
I wonder why it sounds so good, even though like the room you wouldn't expect.
They dialed it in.
Yeah. That's
they
cool.
built it with the intent of having live music in there. So it's always...
And there's like an educational aspect to that place, or they do something for the community?
They're a 501c3, which I thought was a brilliant way to create a venue that could have a better likelihood of sustaining itself. But they have a lot of volunteers. They work with the community. I know they do stuff with different schools and stuff like that. They have different programs that bring in art and music, and they're just real good to have in that downtown Aurora area.
It's nice out there, I mean, thinking about going back to like my roots and like, oh, I had to leave this town because it was so boring, St. Charles. It's not boring. It's beautiful out there. I'm like,
sure is. I'm still there.
I didn't need to go back. Like, I'm like, we have the river. There's great people. There's good music. Like, I could get along, I think, out there because I'm, so used to the music out here in the city. But there's a lot of music in the Fox Valley. Like, so you're mainly gigging out there. Like, Sam, you say you do this all the time. Like, your whole job is. Or is it all over? Yeah,
and, both of us we're gigging musicians. I do a lot of, obviously, Covington Groove is, a priority, and it's my, original material outlet, and it's a great one. But I do dueling pianos. I do, I play solo and sing, and I play in like wedding bands, just that people need a keyboard player, and I get hired, and so a lot of just random things, and it's just built it up over the years, just doing music full time. So it's taken a long time to network and
to get to all these places
to get the gigs. But yeah, Covington Groove is super fun. Love it.
I love that. And when were you both touched by the music bug? Like, were you little kids when you first started getting into music, or?
I grew up with music in the house. Like I'd wake up to Good Morning by the Beatles and go to bed with Now It's Time to Say Goodnight.
Wow, very literal music fan. I love that.
Yeah, Grateful Dead was camping music.
Oh wow.
Pink Floyd was Hide and Go Seek in the Dark. There was always jazz happening.
Wow.
My dad used to tell us. He'd use Van Morrison, and he still does to this day. It's great. He'll put his hand on your shoulder and go, "Have I told you lately that I love you?"
Oh,
and I'm like, "That's cool."
Very nice. Yeah. So a music family. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I started playing really playing 11 years ago, but
cool.
Grew up with music was always in the house for sure.
Cool. How about you, Sam?
Yeah, same thing. We always had a piano, so It just was, the center of the living room, and my dad would play. I would hear him, and even before I got into music, that was, it's kind of, I had the notes in my head, and eventually made my way over there. But went through a lot of different phases. Like I swam, I was a swimmer, and did that seriously up and as serious as you could be for a 9-year-old.
Oh wow, that's amazing though. That's pretty serious.
Right, I wasn't playing hide and go seek in the closet.
Well, I was.
I know. I'm kind of jealous now.
Yeah, right. I
want my childhood back. And I eventually quit swimming, and then my parents were like, hey, it's okay. We do see scholarships to, Stanford in your future, but, if you want to quit. But they were okay with it. They said, you just got to replace it with something. And cool. I chose piano. There was, I hadn't even touched it before, but it was there. And I started, and never looked back. I was 10, 11 years old.
Cool.
But same thing with Colin, though. In terms of my family, it was just, music was all around, all types of music. Steely Dan.
Oh, yeah.
And then stuff like Frank Sinatra and Bing Crosby and Prince, all of it. So, yeah.
It's a nice wide range. I love that. I love that. So the piano that you started on at 10, is that the same one that's living in your house now?
It's not. I wish we still had that.
Yeah.
Because I need more keyboards.
Yes,
But
I was saying, I bet you have a lot.
But that was an upright piano.
Okay.
That we had as a kid, and then so now I have a grand piano. It's nicer, and we got that when I was a child. I mean, that became the piano that replaced the upright, but that original piano is kind of special, and I do miss it. So.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Letting go of
Letting go.
things,
There we
too.
go.
Yeah.
There we go. That was a traumatic experience, letting go of that piano, and it's it's in one of these songs.
The
totally. Experience.
Yeah. Oh, see, I love that. Okay, good. I'm glad. I know that's one of the hardest things I've had to learn. Is like all these things, but I don't need them all around me all the time. If they're not, getting used or they don't work anymore, I guess I have to let go.
I never really hang on to things. The only my uncle, who he was on the ride for a while, he was on Warped Tour for a bunch of years and opened up for like Nickelback and Godsmack. He passed a few years ago, so I take him on stage with me everywhere.
Oh, cool! With the ring
and the watch.
Oh, cool!
Yeah,
both.
Yeah, so I get to leave that there.
Yeah.
I get to have that there, and I don't really think about it outside of that. So
right, and I kind of I'm somebody that does actually I'm kind of a hoarder. I just love stuff,
Same.
and I like to attach a memory to broken objects. And
Sure.
and I keep them like there was.
that's a good line for a
Yeah, I
song.
was gonna say,
Attach
can
a
we
memory to
write
broken objects.
There you go. Write down.
Yeah.
But there's a friend of mine. It's actually Megan. You'd probably know. Joel Masters.
Oh yeah.
So
Love Joel.
a long time ago, probably around the time that I first met Colin, 2016ish, and we get back to my house, and my sink, it's like the faucet's kind of dripping, and we probably had a few drinks, and I was like, hey, hey Joel, can you fix my faucet? It's dripping. I just can't get this. And he's like, yeah, no problem. And so then he just...
Is he a handyman?
Well...
Or you just assume that he can do it?
He just ripped that thing off, and then it's like, it's a geyser now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Joel... And he's like, I'm going to fix it. And then so he went down... There's like leaking happening in the basement. And like, I've got a garbage can that's getting filled with water, and it's insane. And
you still have the...
I have the broken sink.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's great.
Above, it's just hanging there in my kitchen, and it's a great memory. And like he used a wine cork to try to like stop it, and the wine cork is in the.
It's still in there.
And so that's the kind of stuff I like to save.
Totally, which I love. I think that's amazing. That's kind of like found objects in art. It's like, but it's your own object that you put these memories on, and now it's like an art piece in your house. It's like the cork's still in there. I remember the whole story. Like,
yes,
that's kind of cool. I like that.
Yeah.
But I feel you on the hoarder thing. I'm like, I have way too much stuff.
And he paid for the sink, the new sink. He paid for it.
So after a couple of drinks, like, I'll fix it. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Joel. Stick to bass playing, bro. Oh, that's great. He's awesome. Didn't he go to like Mexico or something? Is he back?
He travels around. He's a wandering soul. But yeah, good friend, old friend, and St. Charles alum.
Yes, alum. Yeah, we were talking off air before that it's our 20th high school reunion this year. It should have been extraneous circumstances canceled it, but it's been 20 years since high school, and it's always a wild thing to think that we all started there. So, I mean...
Very true.
Yeah, we started in high school. At least our relationship. And you were in some bands in high school, right? I remember Dirty Faces was a thing.
It was an original band, back in the high school days. And yeah, just to kind of bring everybody up to date, me and Megan went to the same high school,
yes.
St. Charles East. And... there was, Dirty Faces was there, and then this other band, Mr. Osborne, which, it's like, it's lots of great memories. I wish I had more video of those days. I do have I have some recordings, but
nice.
But it's in the memories.
It is. It's in the memories. And then, so were you in jazz band or in regular band in high school, or
jazz band? Being a piano guy, you wouldn't be in regular band.
That's true.
Unless I like strapped on a xylophone.
Yeah.
And, I wasn't
That'd be cool too.
Wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
Strapping on anything. But
that was good radio right there. I like that. Go ahead.
So I played piano in the jazz band. And recently had a reunion of sorts. Like I think it was a concert for our band director. He was retiring, and so he had people come and play, and I was one of them. And
cool.
For a final concert, it was neat seeing some alumni, old jazz band kids. But I learned so much. His name was Jim Cull. I have probably like 10 big inspirations in terms of people on me as a musician. He's one of them for sure. So my high school jazz band person, my director.
Wonderful. I was going to say, I think it's Jim something. I can't remember. But I'm so grateful for that, because I think as like just regular high school kids, you're like, oh, I know some people in the jazz band. And you just think it's, jazz and classical. It's old music. Like, I don't listen to that. And then coming out and seeing these bands like Mr. Osborne or Dirty Faces, these things that we created in high school, it's like it takes from everything, just like your band. It's taking from jazz, taking from rock, it's blues, it's funk, it's all these things. So, I think we have a lot to be thankful for of our upbringing and our mentors. Who's one of your mentors, Colin, that you really look to? That
honestly, like in life, my dad gave me some really good ethos-driven stuff. I was never a big reader because of what I found out was later on like ADHD and spectrum stuff, and I was like,
totally.
that makes sense.
That's why I can't stay on the damn page.
Yeah, like, no, that's why. But like, having me read stuff like, Stranger in a Strange Land, Zen in the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance.
Oh, cool.
But also just little, some of them I can't say on the air, but
you're like, let me think. No.
There are these isms that I he would say, and now I'm hearing people who I know, people that they know are saying them, so it's getting passed out there.
Okay.
My uncle, when I was little, he was in the hair band days, monster guitar player, but I'd watch like my Uncle Jimmy go into the bathroom, my Aunt Jimmy come out, would be my joke, because he was all done up with the hair. And,
I love it. My Aunt Jimmy come out.
But I got to see him at this club, Stay Out West in Hanover Park.
Okay.
They would do all ages on Sundays. And I remember my mom took me and my sister, and just packed room, and he's having a blast, and he's like has the long wire, so he's coming out, and I'm like, oh man, that's cool. I want to do that.
I want to do that.
Yeah, so those would be probably the biggest two for me.
I love that.
Yeah.
My father, similar to Colin's dad, just the fact that music was in the house. That's where really it comes from, and I think parents, they just have such a influence on their kids. I wouldn't be here without my dad. Yeah.
Absolutely. Do you think both of your parents, like pushed certain music on you, or just let it happen and hoped that you would gravitate towards it? Mine,
definitely didn't push anything, but like I remember my earliest memory of music is when we were little. What was it? Peter and the Wolf.
Okay.
And we'd walk around in circles.
Grieg.
Yeah.
That's the name of the
Is
composer.
that what it is?
It's
Oh,
Grieg.
okay.
And there'd be this thing where it'd be like, and now you're this person, and they'd have different music for it, and we'd all be just like dancing around like crazy people in the living room. And then it was just always on.
Yeah.
It was just always on. Like if there was family get-togethers, if it was just a day, there was always something playing. There was no TV. We were limited on
True.
TV.
Yeah, okay.
And it was just music. It was records getting played all the time. It was tapes in the car. It was just always music.
Always music, no matter where you went.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and same thing. It was in the car. But my dad was, he was a stickler for me, like practicing. Like he was hard. He would get on you, and I remember I've gotten better as a musician. You like learning to read music, like notes and stuff. I've gotten a lot better at it over the years, but when I first started, I wasn't very good at all, and I didn't know how to do it. But my dad would sit me down and be okay. Like there'd be like these kind of classical pieces, like they're kind of exercises, and getting technique, and he's like, okay, I want to hear that. And so he would sit next to me and watch me play it. Now, he wasn't the best music reader either. And so I would sit down and play it, and I'd be like, oh, I haven't actually learned this. And so I would just make up something. I would just like, I would start kind of what it was, and then I would improvise, and I would turn the page and all this stuff, and I would just keep playing. And
Cool.
and that was a big part of me, I would say, learning how to improvise and write music and be a free thinker in terms of writing, and just like trying to be able to like try to compose on the spot, just like making up stuff and things that sounded appropriate, like this classical music I was supposed to be playing and was faking. And my dad may have even known that I was doing it, but he was so proud of me, I guess, because I was able to improvise something. Like,
Yeah,
so,
you're ad-libbing at an early
it's like-
age.
I would have to say I'm going to
cool.
add one biggest musical influences, and honestly, it's Sam. Because
Aw.
when I started playing early, we would, after rehearsals and shows or whatever, we'd just like sit in the car and listen and talk about music for hours. So all the stuff that his dad was telling him, he would talk about, and it would make me think, and then it would change my playing, whether it was immediate or whether it was 3 months later, and it wouldn't change my playing to what I want you to be playing. It would change it into like think of music differently than you're thinking about it. There's so much more than just this here and this here, and that I think I've grown 4 years past what I should be just from not even playing with Sam, but just hanging out with him, talking about music.
Thanks,
for sure.
man. Yeah, and I've learned a lot from you as well. And that's I try to, like, that's one of my philosophies in general is no matter who it is and who's playing up there. I mean, I've hosted open mics and open jams, and I've seen some atrocious music, and I've also seen some things that are like, wow, that's like, I have a great memory of, so I host a jam in St. Charles at a place called Pollyanna. One of the early ones, probably it was a few years ago, a girl got up and played piano. She was like 10 years old, and she sang a song called, what was it called? I guess it's not that important. It's like Julia, she's a songwriter.
Like it's on the tip of my
Yeah,
tongue.
it's if the world was ending, would you come over? Or it's like something like that.
Okay.
And it's a great song, but I had never heard it before. But this little girl just sang it and played, and I was like, wow, that was one of the best things I've ever seen. Period. I mean, it was incredible, and it was just her singing and playing, but it was just so heartfelt, and it's like it just hit the core, and everybody was stunned that was there, and it wasn't like she was like a belter or anything. It was just pure heart, and I was like, wow, that's as good as it gets, and so those kind of things happen, and I think, and then I went and listened to the recording. I was like, yeah, this girl like totally, just slayed this more than the original recording, and. So yeah, I always think about it, and I like if I ever get married, if I have a wedding, I'll probably I'll try to track down like where this girl's at and have her play this song. It's like it was that good, but you hear things like throughout and I just try to be open for when I like hear something that really moves me, and it doesn't matter who it is. Like I'm not going to just be like, oh, it's a 10-year-old girl up there,
right? You're not going to have,
she could learn a lot from me.
Right,
it's never that, and it's always trying to learn from what you're experiencing.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, and not having preconceived notions of like letting that get in the way of like if you were to say that about that girl, you might have missed that performance, and
Yeah.
That's amazing. Julia Michaels, I think.
That was it. Julia Michaels.
Ending. Okay, I've never heard that song either.
Really great song, but yeah,
Cool.
It's just those kind of things randomly pop up, and it's just like things I'm not expecting, like to be blown away by, and I'm glad I was here to experience it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's about. And I think we kind of talked a little bit off air about just like egos in music, egos and everything. There's ego, of course, and it's hard to like not have that get in the way. But how much non-ego, or like why do you prefer not to have your ego rule anything?
Ego, we all have it, and it has its place. on stage is where ego shines, and that's where it should live, and it should thrive there, and you should feed it there, you know. And then as soon as you get off, it doesn't. It's not there, right? In the writing room, the rehearsal room, there is no ego. It doesn't belong there, you know. We were just talking about, we got some footage that's up on our YouTube channel of the Wookie Foot show. And we were talking about it the other night, and I was like, you know, the first time I watch it, I put on my headphones, I sit down, and I just watch it and love it. I don't try to learn anything from it. I just let my ego eat, right? And then after that, I let it go, and then we start looking at what could you do, this and that. But I think ego is the stage is the great divider, really, amongst, you know, if you're going to be a performing musician, and the only way to get up there is ego. And I think the important thing is to keep it in check and know what the yin and yang of it is, and be very self-aware and always checking in with yourself, just in general, even outside of music, you know.
Good answer, Colin Ryan. I appreciate that. That was real good.
That is like right on the money. Like the stage, you have to become bigger than life. You know, you have to give people something to remember and be the most. I remember a good friend of mine is like, you have to, like, when you're on stage, if something happens in the audience that is like, let's like really exciting or crazy, or somebody's like, let's like they're standing on a chair or something, and then suddenly it's like you got to top them. You have to bring the attention back on you. It's like you're always So ego is huge on stage, and I also think ego is important for not necessarily the group writing session, or like if you're like bouncing ideas off of each other, but when you're by yourself. You have to walk in and sit down with just like the utmost confidence that I'm going to write the best song ever, and then that's, I mean, and then the inspiration can kind of flow through that. You have to kind of almost be like feeling like you're God, and like I'm just going to do this amazing piece, and a lot of times it'll happen if you believe in yourself enough. So I do that self-belief is important in the writing process, like individually, and then you gotta, when you're working with other people, you have to put that aside a little bit, and communicate and be a good listener, and that's like putting your ego aside. But you gotta learn how to control it. But it's a huge part of being a musician and an artist.
And you know, the thing I noticed is I got to, a little self-brag, I got to play with Victor Wooten like 3 times,
cool.
which was really cool.
Stop bragging.
Hey.
No, keep bragging. That's so cool.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I love that.
And then I went down to one of his camps for a week,
so cool.
and hung out with these amazing people. And what I realized is all of these just unbelievable musicians, these top-notch people, they're not just titans of music, they're titans of life, you know. And the one thing you notice about them is they're very humble and very kind and very generous. And I think there's this misconception of you have to be this ego-driven whatever. And I think you notice that a lot on the mid-levels. And, you know, the levels that we're at now and below, where people think they have to be more, present themselves as bigger than they are in order to get there. And really, it's quite the opposite. All these people I meet, they're just very humble and very kind and very giving. And I think that's a good way to just approach life, because even if you get burned, you're still going to feel better 90% of the time.
Very true, very true. Wise words from both Samuel Wyatt and Colin Ryan here at the Wizard, Chicago's home for Freeform, talking all about Covington Groove, their band, coming out with a brand new album, the first of its kind. Covington Groove is self-titled, and they're going to be celebrating it at a record release party happening next week, the 15th, at the venue in Aurora. Stay tuned, because we'll have tickets for that. But that was really inspiring to hear that, because when I ask that question a lot, people do go down the route of like, you can't have an ego, but I forgot that you need an ego also to be able to like have enough, cojones to get on stage, to be able to like believe, like what you said, Sam, about being, believing that you are like a god, or that you're going to make something beautiful, that you're going to make something that makes people feel something. Sometimes you have to like fake it till you make it, or trick your mind into believing that, and then you're like, wait, I did that, I'm capable of all those things.
The one thing I want to add, something I got from one of my mentors in college. I went to NIU and did music, and he was a trumpet professor, and I use it quite a bit. It's kind of an ego trick. Is when you're playing your instrument, is you imagine that you're one of your heroes playing. So I might be like, I'm pretending I'm Jimi Hendrix, or it's like I'm Miles Davis or Prince. And then you kind of take on this character, like you transport yourself to them and you pretend you're them. And it's actually it makes you play differently. And it's a mind trick, but it's a total ego driven idea.
Very cool. I love this. This is good advice, and I'm glad that I'm getting a little bit from all your mentors here today. It's kind of cool. Like, we take those stories with us, or we take those objects with us and remind us of those things daily. It's beautiful. Mm-hmm. Thank you, guys. So we're coming to a close here, but I do want to mention the opening band. You've got an opening band at the show, too.
Yeah, it's the Jim Connery Trio, which is Jim Connery and Janice Wallen from Old Shoe. Which,
cool.
I mean, she's one of my favorite bass players. As a bass player,
great.
She's awesome. Yeah, and then I'm not sure, but I think they have the drummer from Jim's band Strange Arrangement, which went national years back. Really cool band. So yeah, we're really super happy to have them out.
That's awesome. I caught him, I think at Shoe Fest, Old Shoes Festival, and got to see Jim play, and he's really a great addition to the band for sure.
We got to play with him on 2 different occasions. That's how we met him, is we did a thing out in Lee, a Centennial Festival.
Okay.
Our guitar player was not available, so he hopped on, and then when we were doing the Reggie's Tuesdays, Sam had something he couldn't get out of, so we called up Jim and said, do you want to jam with us? And he's such a great guitar player, and he's been around, and afterward he had a big smile on his face, and I was like, what? He goes, you know what, man? He goes, this is the most fun I've had playing music in like 3 years. You guys are just a blast. And I was like, cool, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's high praise when a musician says that. You're like, okay, cool. Like, I'm happy to hear that.
It really felt good because he's a really kind human too, which is awesome.
Yeah, as we're talking about that too, being kind and generous and humble is all part of this game too. Do you think maybe Jim or Janice might sit in on a song with you guys?
We're planning on Jim sitting in on the last song. We're gonna because we're having our friend Nick sit in on keys for a few, and then like Kyle's gonna be on percussion. So I think at the end we're gonna do a big jam.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair. And if he had so much fun last time, let's reiterate it on stage,
he already
right?
said he would.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Wink.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to give away anything, but if so, like, that's a reason to come out. Sure. So yeah, everybody stay tuned because we're going to give away a pair of tickets after this little conversation we're having, but we're going to play one more tune, right?
Yeah, can I add something
Please,
too?
take your time, yeah.
Anybody that comes out to the show and says they heard it from WZRD, we'll give you a free shirt or free hat or something that we have on the merch table. Just come and talk to us afterward. And
that's amazing.
If you say this is why you came, we'll give you one.
Awesome. So there's benefits to listening to the radio, and to tuning into real live people speaking. I love that. Mm-hmm. Thanks, guys. So you have T-shirts, you have hats. What else did you say you have?
T-shirts, hats, and we have the whole stickers and everything, and hopefully lighters and all that fun stuff. But we have a couple different designs on T-shirts and a couple different designs on hats.
Awesome. And then will there be a physical release of this as well?
We just got the albums in, and if I get on the phone early enough, we'll have CDs, which I thought were just too outdated, but apparently people still listen to them.
Is it coming back?
I don't know. I had like 20 people go, are you going to have CDs? And I'm like, what do you mean? My car doesn't even have a CD player.
Yeah, I know. And they sound so good. It's like, that's the highest quality audio.
Yes.
It's sad to see it go.
But we do have like actual vinyl.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Cool. Somebody's got to send me that last song while we're sitting here still talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, I had a conversation with, it was Neil Young's author of his book that he wrote. And Neil Young's very passionate about the music quality sounds, because he's like, we went in these studios back in the day and we wanted to make sure you heard every little sound. And now with MP3s, you're like cutting these sounds in half. And so, yeah, lately I've been like getting stuff from the library and I'll just put it in my car because I do have a CD player still.
Yeah.
And you really hear the difference. You can feel the music more. So I think you guys should put it on.
The bass. And so, and Colin being the bass player, it's like, we got to have a CD.
That's what we want. All right, cool. Did you send it to me?
No, I have no internet connection.
Oh, that's what he's showing me. He's like, I can't send it to you because I don't have internet. I got it. And of course I have do you have a way to plug your phone into this, or you need a dongle? Probably we all need a dongle. Well, here, this is what we'll do, because I feel like, isn't there a decent And this is real time, which I like doing. A decent live thing from you guys. Let's see if I put in some Covington Groove. I thought I saw something I really liked. I'll throw on some live Covington Groove, and then we'll get that taken care of because I would love to see that. Cool. Let's see. We got Buckle Up. No.
Maybe the first part of the Reggie's.
The recent Reggie's one?
Just
Yeah.
Gotta Move.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that way you guys can kind of hear what they sound like live too, which I always like doing. Covington Groove at Reggie's. This one's from, here it is. You guys did a stream on this, huh?
Yeah, that's really cool. Reggie's in both rooms, not always, but a lot of times we'll do a live stream and they'll have like a video team there, which is great for bands in today's world because it's free content.
True.
And so like something like that would cost you $1,000.
So it's pretty expensive, yeah. Cool.
So, yeah.
Hey, that's fun. All right, well, we'll start this off, and then we will finish out with the last track from, what was it called that we're going to end it with?
We're going to end it with End of the Show.
That's what I thought. I was like, it makes a lot of sense for this. All right, cool. Covington Groove live at Reggie's Rock Club just 5 days ago, opening for Wookie Foot. It's here on The Wizard, Chicago's home for freeform since 1974.
Every now and then the bottle slips out my hand. They keep telling me how to be a man. This ain't the kind of story that needs an end. You look prettier with your head in the sand. Everybody sing, everybody think, what kind of world you wanna wake up to? Every single day, every single way, gonna make a change. It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Yeah, gotta move. Here on The Wizard, live from Reggie's at the Rock Club from Covington Groove. This is good stuff, you guys. Oh, I gotta give you volume. There you go. Say it again.
If you didn't recognize that last guitar line, myself and Ben are both Whovians, so that's Doctor Who right
Oh,
there.
that's what I'm like. It sounds so. That's why you're both chuckling to each other. I was like, I kind of saw a little
I was
smile.
probably laughing about something else. But,
It worked. It worked. No, you guys are definitely grooving, so to speak, in this video. I'm loving it. It's really cool. And so other people can groove with you. The 15th coming up very soon, next Friday, right?
Yes.
So if you guys want to see Covington Groove, Jim Connery, is that how I say it? Connery? And Janice Wallen. I know everybody loves them out there. So come out. I have a pair of tickets for free. I'll put you on the guest list. 773-442-4578 is the number to call. 773-442-4578. And guys, it's been great. You guys are really awesome.
Well, thank you. It's been a real treat to be here.
thanks, Megan.
Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad you guys came in. We'll get you to sign the wall, take some pictures in front of all these records, and you're welcome anytime.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
And we do a Thursday night live thing here, which we do every Thursday for I don't even know, 25 years. And we have bands play live on the radio. So if you guys ever want to come and do a little performance.
Sold.
Yeah, I figured we'll get you set up.
Love to do it.
Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much. 773-442-4578 puts you on the guest list to see Covington Groove next week at the venue, the 15th.
Let's hear everybody sing, everybody think. What kind of world you wanna wake up to? Every single day, every single way. Gonna make a change. Gonna make a change. You just gotta move.
This tune is called End of Show. End of the show. Covington Groove.
To help you get back on track. But now I see you've been abusing my plan. Is this how you pay me back? Honey, I know you've gotta go out the front door like the winter wind blows. Honey, you've gotta see you can't be with me. It's time to say goodbye, it's the end of the show. Just discriminate. All you do is you bring me down. But I am stuck. I'll get by the hate while you get the hell out of town. Honey, I know you gotta go out the front door like the winter wind blows. Say goodbye, it's the end of the show. so sure. It doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what you do. It's over now, that ship has sailed. I'm walking out on you. Honey, I know you gotta go out the front door like the winter wind blows. Honey, you gotta see you can't be with me. It's time to say goodbye, it's the end of the show. Honey, I know. Goodbye, it's the end of the show.